Now let's discuss the other features of the Supreme Court decision, which says that the VP was also deprived of due process because she was not allowed, she was not given a copy, which some luminaries see as an additional procedure. What do you say about that?
With all due respect, says that is wrong. That is wrong because the House rules on impeachment provide that already. What the Supreme Court did was only to lay it down clearly, step by step. What's my basis for this? The House rules on impeachment, the Francisco ruling is incorporated in it. There's notice, hearing. That's the essence of due process. And lastly, and very important, it says on the last page, rules of procedure. The rules of court shall, as far as practicable, apply to impeachment proceedings before the House. What is the rules of procedure? That's the rules that govern all court proceedings. And almost all rules, every rule in that rules of court provides for due process. Filing of a complaint, filing of an answer, period, when to do certain things, that is due process. That is not due.
Right, but the naysayers, attorney, would say, this is only quasi-judicial, this is more political, and maybe what the Supreme Court has done with this ruling is to make it actually more judicial than political in nature. What would you have to say?
More difficult.
More difficult too, yeah.
Impeachment in layman's language is a unique proceeding. But it is also subject to constitutional provisions all over the Constitution. And a primary of that, principle of that is the Bill of Rights. They cannot say that the impeachment proceedings is not subject to the Bill of Rights. Every step of the impeachment proceedings should be subject to the Bill of Rights. And this is not just the right of the respondent to be heard. It's more important, the right of the complainant to be heard. I have been a complainant a number of times, and I know how it feels when I am not heard by the House.
Well, attorney, at the same time, speaking of right to be heard, some of the critics say that the Supreme Court made a rushed decision. They didn't hold oral arguments despite the weight of this case. So as they revisit this decision after that motion for reconsideration, do you think they should be holding oral arguments this time?
I don't want to preempt what the Supreme Court will do with the motion for reconsideration. In fact, I don't want to go into the merits of the motion for reconsideration. That will be improper for me.
Now, let's just revisit when you filed this petition with the High Court in 2003. This concerned impeachment complaints against Justice Davide.
Yes.
Yes. What made you go to the High Court?
I was familiar. Modesty aside, I was very familiar with the rules on impeachment because prior to November 2001, there is no issue as to as to when an impeachment proceeding is deemed initiated. It was my impeachment complaint that triggered that. That when I filed a second impeachment complaint, the House changed the rules. So I knew that the House changed the rules to bar a second impeachment. Unfortunately for the House at that time, they used it when a second impeachment complaint was filed against Chief Justice Davide. And since I knew the rules and I felt that I was also a victim of these rules, I immediately drafted a petition and filed Francisco versus House of Representatives. Many petitions followed, but if you will examine the ruling, it was my petition that questioned the House rules, and the Supreme Court invalidated the House rules. The petition of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines also questioned the House rules, but it was patterned after my petition.
Okay. So you're saying the House does not have the leeway to change its rules to suit its power to initiate impeachment proceedings?
The Constitution says the House has the power to initiate impeachment cases. not impeachment proceeding. There's a distinction
Okay,
there.
yes,
What the-
cases.
what the Constitution says merely is that an impeachment case should initiate from the House. And if it's a valid impeachment and it does not violate the one-year bar rule, the House should file it, transmit it to the Senate. It's as simple as that.
All right. Well, we thank you so much in the flesh, Attorney Francisco, who is now known as the Francisco
ruling.
ruling. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
insights.
you. Thank you.